Hello everyone, welcome to It's Crochet O'Clock. We are doing our social hour as the entire world is going through troubled times, as we are all aware. So we are doing extra lives every day to help folks get some type of social interaction. Oh, the bad thing about going live is you can't just edit out when your tongue gets tied up. Anywho, welcome y'all, welcome. If you are new here, and this is your first time participating in a live chat, please make sure that you are logged into your YouTube account. If you are not, then you will not be able to participate in the live chat. While you are at it, please make sure that you select live chat from the drop down button. A lot of times it defaults to top chat. That means that it's not going to send through all of the comments from the people participating while we are live, and you will not see everything. Additionally, if you are one of the folks that are stuck at work, I keep getting messages from folks on social media that they are still able to go to work, so they are missing the lives and they're watching the replays. Thank you for watching the replays. I hope that they are helpful for you. You too can also watch the conversation as the video plays on. It will play the conversation back for you. You also need to make sure that you are selecting live chat instead of top chat, because it will do the exact same thing on the replay. I don't know if Freaky Geek's going to be here, or Anthony or Sue, but as always on the live chats, there's a disclaimer for the three of them. They are very, very colorful, but they are locals. So we love them very much. They are very sarcastic, and if you say something and a pun can be made out of it, they are definitely going to make a pun out of it. They make our lives a whole lot brighter by being here, so don't take them too seriously. Don't take anything that they say too seriously. They're here for laughs. Let's see who all we have in chat over here today. Hello, 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 hello. We have Dee and Ida here with us again today, moderating. Thank you ladies so much for jumping in and doing extra for us. We can't do these without moderators, because I have all kinds of things that I have to pay attention to over here, and the moderators pick up a whole lot of slack in that area for me, so I appreciate you guys so much. There's my Aunt Jean Ann. Hello, Aunt Jean Ann. I love you. And Sandy's here. Yay, Sandy, you made it today. I have been seeing your messages. I'm just so crazy busy that I haven't had a lot of time to respond to YouTube comments, but I'm glad that you made it here today, Sandy. From Barcelona, Spain. Hello, Sylvia. Welcome. Hello, Carol and Sander and Joe and Alicia. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody is coming in. I'm trying to give just a couple minutes for the YouTube notices to go out. If you are watching the replay and you're here to see how to cut fleece to prepare it for a crocheted border, just bear with me, because we are doing this live, so I want to make sure that a good deal of people that wanted to attend are going to be here before I start the instruction, because I only get one shot at this. So if folks are going to miss it, then they'll have to wait all the way until the end and watch the replay. And hello to those that are lurking. Yes, hello you lurkers. You guys, please do us a favor and hit the thumbs up button. The algorithm, whenever you hit thumbs up buttons on live videos, it tells people that you are interacting with the video, that it's going on, and the algorithm is more likely to put it out as a suggestion to people. And there are some YouTubers that are committing to doing extra lives, but if there's folks out there that need some social interaction, we want to do everything that we can to make sure that we are seen. So if you hit the like button, the algorithm says, hey, people like this video, we should recommend it to others. So it will pop up on their feed more frequently, and they will be able to come and participate with us and get some social interaction as well. Shelly said, I'm waiting on some yarn to come in the mail so I can start on another sweater. Nice. Hello, Hook Hook Crochet and Patsy's Crochet. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. So don't blink when she shows us, right? Don't blink. Don't blink. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. I appreciate it so, so, so much. And we would love to have as many people in our community as possible, because isolation is not good for people. It causes depression and loneliness. And while this isn't physical interaction, it's still some type of interaction. So if we can reach out to people that are suffering or maybe feeling a little bit blue, and give them a little bit of a pick-me-up, even if it's just for an hour, you know, that would make me feel really good. Oh, let's see. Ooh, there's lots of people in here now. That's good. I gotta slow down or I'm gonna drink all my coffee. Y'all, my hair, that's another thing. The wind here, I saw that before the live started, people were talking about the weather in their location. If you don't know, I live in the desert of New Mexico. We have almost no trees. There's no tall buildings, nothing like that to break up the wind. And we have sustained 35-mile-per-hour winds here today with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So the wind is howling. I am hoping that that our internet is not going to go out, because that does happen sometimes. If it does, I apologize so much. If I lose the internet, I will immediately stop, or I have other spare fleece that I can redo this tomorrow, or something like that. But my hair is already preparing for walking outside and just getting Medusa'd all over the place. It's kind of crazy. Oh, let's see. I've been trying to join the group and I haven't gotten approved. I don't see any pending memberships or membership requests. Hold on, let me go look. I will look while we are sitting here still waiting for folks to come in. Admin, nope, no membership requests. Are you trying to join the It's Crochet O'Clock Facebook group? Maybe Dee can hit her macro to make sure that that you are going to the correct group. I wish we had no trees. I'm so over the oak and cedar trees. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, Annie, and hello, Miss Beverly. Why, thank you, Sandy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe she's talking about the Facebook page. Well, you don't have to approve anything on a Facebook page. So maybe, I'm sure Dee will send out the proper link to the Facebook group here in just a minute. There it goes, right there. You guys are you're like 20 or 30 seconds behind me. So there she goes. That is the link to the It's Crochet O'Clock Facebook group. So that is the correct Facebook group for you to join. So let's get started here. Let me flip this camera around, because I think we have enough people here that I can start this. This is a little bit different for me, because first and foremost, you need to have space to do this. And I am doing this on a very small scale just to show you guys what I do, but normally I have this out on my kitchen island and I take it over because you do need space to do this. So first you're gonna need space. Get down on your floor or clear out a big area, something like that. I have this cutting mat here. You could do it without it, but I don't recommend doing it without something underneath it. These cutting mats are great for protecting your surfaces underneath whatever it is that you're cutting. And they're also great because they have these little marks on them. It's a ruler on all four sides. There's a ruler, and I have an issue. I can't cut a straight line to save my life. Just cannot. So these lines right here are a lifesaver for me. And even when I have the lines, I still sometimes mess up. So you just have to be very careful. So I recommend having these mats. Again, you don't need them, but I recommend having them. I have this see-through ruler. I just picked this up from Hobby Lobby. It's just clear plastic, but for me to be able to see through it and make sure that I am lining everything up and that it's hard plastic so the blades are not going to go through it if I accidentally get too close and nick it, it helps me out a lot. And it helps me to apply pressure, and you guys will see here soon that it helps me to apply pressure to make sure that nothing moves while I am cutting it. I have my fleece. This is just a piece of scrap fleece that I am going to be working with today because, again, I don't have the space here to prep a large piece of fleece for a proper blanket. I'm going to be using a 4mm crochet hook, so I have that, but I don't need that right now, so I'm going to set that off to the side. This is also some just out of my stash just for the demonstration today. This is some Stylecraft Special DK acrylic yarn that I had. That's what I'm going to be using to show you guys what goes on, and this is the main thing that you need if you are going to be prepping blankets like this. Now I have to tell you a little disclaimer. There's lots of ways to do this, and if you do this in a different way, I'm not saying that you are wrong at all. I'm just saying that this is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. This is just how I do it, okay? This is a rotary cutter. You can get these at most craft stores, Walmart, Target, things like that. This is the normal blade that comes with one. This is the launching mechanism. You press it forward and it ejects the blade out. You guys be careful, okay? I don't want to be seeing no pictures in the It's Crochet O'Clock Facebook group of folks cutting their fingers and all of that, because these blades are super, super, super sharp, okay? They're crazy sharp. So be careful whenever you're messing around with these things, okay? If you're not planning on using it, like immediately using it, make sure that you press this button and it zips back in and you get a little bit of protection there. But don't ever release it until you're ready to use it. And as soon as you're finished with it, close it back before you set it down, because there's nothing worse. I've done it. There's nothing worse than leaving this blade out and setting it down because you're going to use it again in just a minute, and then focusing on whatever it is that you're holding, reaching over and grabbing that blade from the wrong side, and then boom, your hand is cut. You don't want that. This is the other thing that you are going to need. This is a skip blade, and this goes into the rotary cutter where this solid blade is, right here. Ideally, you would have two rotary cutters, so you don't have to flip back and forth between them, but I only have one, so I have to flip back and forth between the blades, which is good because then I can show you how to change them. And again, you have to be careful whenever you're changing them. So you can see the obvious difference. This one is solid all the way around, and this skip blade has little notches that are cut out all around it. This too is incredibly sharp. So whenever you're rolling it across your fabric, it will cut intermittent holes as you go through. And you wouldn't think that it would be as effective as it is. But I'm telling you, these suckers are sharp. They are sharp, 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 and it takes almost no pressure at all to cut through your fabric. And you're gonna see, because I'm gonna show you. So, everybody's in here talking. So I have this piece of scrap fleece here, and it's a rectangle, but we need a square for what I'm doing. I always cut into squares. So we need to line it up as closely as we can, like so. So that's folded, but if we go cut it right now, we're still going to end up with a rectangle. So we need to fold it again. And the ends are going to be all kinds of wonky. Can you guys see that? I know that it's getting blown out a little bit, but seriously, white was the only thing that I had that was scrap. So we're just gonna have to bear with it. But the ends are kind of crazy pants. And we need all of these to be, let me see if See, we need all of these to be completely straight edged. So let me find a spot where it's on the camera and we can see. Let me flip it over this way. Gonna line it up with the corners. Corner goes to corner, and we are going to work on this edge and we're going to work on this edge. And we want a square, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 there, but we know that we have over here, we're gonna lose one of those, and it's not quite going to make up an inch. I don't think. We might be able to. No, because it's right on the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 in and then 3 over here. So that will make a 6 by 6 square. That's the theory. Let me flip this around because I am right here. Normally that's how I hold it, but so we have, boy, this is really hard with this little tiny space, and I can't walk around my island and just move it right around my island. Stephanie, how do you know how to sew a lining onto a crochet purse? I need to learn this skill. I'm sure you could. You just have to be super careful about it. So I am making sure, I'm going to have to stand up because you guys can't see the top of this, but I want to make sure that my lines are lining up, because Lord have mercy, if I'm going to cut, it's always going to be crooked, but we don't want that. So eject your blade, put it right there, right next to your little ruler that you're holding on. Y'all ready? Did it go across? No, because I did. Because I was on the ruler. Poof! There we go. So now we are going to flip it, make sure that it's there. And we're doing 3 by 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Put this ruler right back over there. Make sure that everything is straight. See? Did you see what I just did? I didn't close that. Don't do that. Close it after every time that you use it. So it really doesn't require a lot of pressure. Sorry guys, I forgot that my microphone is right there. Oop, there goes a little bit. There we go. All right, sorry about the microphone. I keep forgetting that it's right there. So there we go. And I messed it up. Because I always do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, right there. I always do. Always. So if this happens to you, just know that you are not alone. So let me trim this up. Wait, let me do it this way, so I'm not going sideways there. It never fails. I always do this to myself. I can never get anything perfectly straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flatten down, please. I did it again. See? That one's just a wee bit short, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Now we've done that. I did it again. See? So, for straightening larger pieces, slowly walk your hand up the ruler before you cut that section. Yes, that's true, but that's an itty-bitty section. But that's a very good example of what happens. So now we need to switch the blade out because we need to cut the edges. So, again, being very careful, I closed the blade. Right here on the opposite side, there's a little knob here. You're just going to turn it. And then the blade will release. Be very careful removing the blade. Grab the other one and pop it on. It's notched, so you don't have to worry about putting it on wrong. There is a flat section right here that you guys probably can't see. It fits perfectly into here, so it won't go on any other way. You don't have to worry about putting it on wrong. You've done it like 3 times. I know I've done it like 3 times. So just put it back on, and there you go. Okay, put this in here because I will reach over and I will grab it. Now fold it back up. And this is a practice section, so if it messes up too terribly bad, normally whenever you fold it like this, when you cut the straight edge, I keep it exactly how it is and I don't unfold it. And then I just go with it because it is what it is. So you fold it back up. We are going to cut all 4 at the same time. Now, you can, this is where you can decide. I typically go an inch in. You don't have to, but that's how I typically go because I want to have something for the crochet to hold on to, and you'll see in just a little bit what I'm talking about when I say that. So I'm going to put my ruler up to the 2-inch mark. Make sure that you are only doing it on the open sides. The folded sides, we're not going to run the rotary blade, or the skip blade rather. We're not going to run the skip blade over the folded edges because that's the inside of the project. We're only going to be doing it on the outside. Pay attention to that because that's also a mistake that I've made. Full disclosure, I've done that. I'm that crazy one that's done that. And once you put holes in something, you can't fix it. So, are we ready? So this is just like, hey, the microphone's right there. This is just like the straight one, except for it has the notches cut out. So line it up, and I kind of bounce going across just to ensure that we're getting everything. I'm not sure if we got through there or not. So I'm going to put it back down because I don't feel like we did. I didn't hear it cutting. This is really hard on this wobbly table, and I just did a really poor job of that. But this table is not the best. Again, when I'm in my kitchen and I'm at my island, that's a very secure thing and it doesn't move back around. But for demonstration purposes, you guys can see how this is done. So, yeah, I got through some of them. Some of them it didn't, but that's okay. We can fix it as long as I can find my scissors because I don't know where my scissors went. So, right here, you can see that I did a very poor job because my table was moving back and forth. I did a very, very, very poor job of this because I can't put down the pressure that you need to put down. Even though they're super sharp, it still puts little holes through. Perfect for your crochet hook. And it didn't grab everything there. And it is, I pretty much ruined this square by doing it on this wobbly surface and not being able to press down like I need to. But it will work for showing you guys what we're going to do. So I'm going to fold this back. Again, normally I leave this all folded at the same time. Let me see if I can, yeah, probably not with this. Nah, I'm not going to be able to. I knew that this was going to be very hard to do on this table because this table moves so much. Come to Stephanie's live today so she can teach you what not to do, but you get the idea and run with it. Exactly. This is what happens with lives, but this is the general idea. So let me fold this back over because this is really super ruined, but we can still get in here and you can see what to do. This is all crazy pants now because I've unfolded it so many times. So you have a point here where your intermittent cutting meets right there. So you will need to locate this, okay? And what I do is I take my ruler and I place it right there on the edge because this will be our corners. And if you don't do something here, you are going to end up, when you start to crochet around it, you're going to end up with a huge bunch of fabric that's not going to be okay. Oh gosh, I closed the blade. Okay, so some people are saying don't fold it in half and all of that. This is how I do it. It's just really super hard. You guys can't see, I have this whole apparatus that's like right here, so it's blocking my view. The table is moving. I'm having all kinds of issues, but this is seriously how I do it. And whenever you do it for the first time, I suggest that you practice some on some scrap pieces like this so you can make mistakes and not ruin the fabric that you're actually going to use for the product. Okay, practice makes perfect, seriously. So we have to do something with the edges, and lots of people do this in different ways. You're going to want to locate your corners. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm at the right spot. I am. So you're just going to want to locate your corners of where your lines are. And again, it's ideal. This is why it's ideal to have two of these. I only have one, so I have to flip the blade back over to the solid one, because the dotted one, or the skip blade, is not going to give us what we need. All right, come on. Get down there, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you. Get back in there. Will you close, honestly? So we're going to put this back on there. Again, don't worry about inserting it wrong because it's notched, so you can't. Okay, so I have my solid blade back up. And I'm just rechecking because if I can do it wrong, I'm going to do it wrong while I am live with all of you, honest to goodness. So this is going to make the corner go away, and it's not looking right because I'm looking at it from the wrong angle. There we go. Eject the blade. Cut away the corners. Close the blade. I got it. Okay. Practice what you preach, Stephanie. So, there you go. That's how you're going to start out. There is no frogging to correct the mess-ups. No, definitely not. So now, theoretically, it's all prepped, okay? It's all prepped and ready to go. So, you get your yarn and you make a slip knot. Normally, we would immediately go and put our slip knot on the hook, but that's not what we need to do with this. We need to get over to a corner. Let me see, did it go through all the way over here? It kind of did. It's going to be ugly, but we're going to do it. Get over here to a corner. Insert your hook through your fabric. And then on the back side, tighten down that slip knot. This is also something that people have several different methods that they do. Again, this is just what I do. Pull that slip knot through just a little bit. Fold the fabric backwards. This is what I was talking about with I like to do an inch because it's naturally going to fold down, and this gives me a foundation because fleece pulls apart. So I have a half an inch of foundation here to work with. So fold it back and then just do a slip knot there. And your knot is going to want to pull forward. You have to pay attention to that when you're first starting. And then you can just go straight into a single crochet. It does look kind of crazy pants here at the beginning. Now that she's done with the cutter, she remembers to close it. Yes, that's true. So, single crochet. I like to do a chain in between each single crochet. You can choose to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's another good reason to use scrap fleece to practice on, because you can also practice with this. It's also good to use to practice for the yarn that you're using, kind of like doing swatches. Whenever we're doing swatches for garments, you kind of have to do the same thing here. If you're using DK, the hook that you're using right now, and just doing single crochets across the top may not work if you're using Aran weight or worsted weight yarn or a larger hook. You just kind of have to try it out. So it's always a good idea to do a swatch. So I chained, and then I am going to find my next hole, which is crazy pants, because of course I didn't do it properly. Here we go. Insert. It's folded back behind there. And just pull through. And I guess you could kind of call these long single crochets because there is a ½ inch there. Chain one, and then I can see clearly the next hole right there. And then single crochet. Make sure that you're pulling up when you're doing it, because if you don't, then this part right here is going to bunch, and you don't want that. So I chain. Can you sew a whip stitch then crochet? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. This is just how I do it, and sometimes I do it like that. It just depends on the effect that I am wanting to give. Did I chain? Yes. So going around here, I'm going to try to get around here so I can show you guys. Ideally, you would want the same amount of stitches on each side. Okay? Ideally, that would happen because it's a square. You have worked super hard to make sure that everything is square. You've been very diligent with your measurements. You were careful when you were cutting. Everything should come out the exact same on all four sides, right? It doesn't always happen that way, okay? Even when I get everything perfectly square, I still end up with more stitches on one or two sides than I did on the other. I can see clearly now that the blade is gone. So it's not a it's a long single crochet, and the reason that it's not a spike stitch is because a spike stitch goes down in rows. You're utilizing rows below. It's kind of the same thing, but this is a long single crochet. And again, you can see, because I was wobbly all over the place, that this is not straight. Ideally, it would also be straight. So we are here to a corner. There is my corner right there. So I am going to chain 2 here or chain 3. Again, this is why swatches are important. And I'm going to fold this corner over and well, there we go. Insert the hook, fold the corner over, and come up with a single crochet. So that has created my new corner. I'm going to chain, and then where is, this was the side where it didn't actually get through. I don't think. Hold on. Let me find it. There it is. Let me find my row. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's, oh, I actually went too far because this is where my corner is. That's crazy pants. That's very crazy pants. Okay. 1, 2, fold. Again, this whole thing is just, I did a very bad job, you guys. In theory, okay? Everything that I have done in theory. Folding that over. There's my next one. Fold over. Pull up. And the beginnings of sides are always more difficult, I find, when you're going through. Pull up. So this is what your corner ends up looking like on the back side. It kind of just folds in on itself and just sits very nicely there like that. And I missed the whole cutting when my phone hiccuped and you disappeared. I'm so sorry, Aunt Jean Ann. I love you. I'm so sorry. I can't do it again. But it's okay because it was rather crazy pants to begin with. Because I can't cut a straight line. I really can't. But the good thing is these are very, very forgiving. They're super forgiving. Except for another trick that I like to use, if I'm using solid fleece, is to use a color when I'm doing this base stitch going all the way around. I would normally, if I was making a blanket out of this base stitch would be in white. So if it was crazy pants going like this, it would be so hard to see it. Pro tip. Because I really can't cut a straight line to save my life. Where is this next? There should be a hole. There's one, but there should be one right there. There should be. There should be one right there, but there isn't because that one didn't make it through. I don't have my scissors here with me. Don't do this at home, guys. Just a little poke. Just a little poke. Normally I would fold that in half and just give it a little snip, which is super easy to do. Lord, the blade is dull here from opening all these boxes. It's not wanting to do it. Yeah, my scissors are in my bag. So, it's not going to go through. Listen, this is like, seriously, how to fix problems. I'm not even going to try to do that with the rotary. I see that going bad. Yeah, it was going to go bad really, really, really quickly. So we're just going to pretend. I just did a chain 2 there, so we'll pretend, because this is just a swatch anyways. Folding back. At the very least, I've provided comic relief for you guys. At the very least. So we're at another corner here. So I'm going to chain 2, fold that down, and insert into that corner space. That one was super easy to see. That made me so nervous. I'm sorry, guys. It's okay. I'm okay. All of this is fine. This is all fine. And this is the one that got super crazy pants. This was the top cutting side here. So I'm just going to have to eyeball. Gosh, it's always so hard starting new sides. Get in there. Thank you. Chain. Adapt, overcome, achieve. Hoorah! Analyze, adapt, overcome, we shall. Looking very crazy pants. Close enough for government specs, right? This is fine. This is all fine. Oh, I went over. Here we go. And come on, give me one more right there. This is not even. We're at another corner. So, oh well, that should have been in there. We're just going to go right there. This is series. Did I chain two? No. Wait, did I? Yes. Oh, Lordy. We're just going to put it right there because that's a half. I messed up really bad on that one. Good thing it's just a trial. Fold down. Come over here. Sit pretty. See, look at how badly that, the big old holes right there. Don't do this on a wobbly surface, you guys. I probably should have picked up all of my equipment and taken it into the kitchen and found some way to put it into the kitchen to do this. This is all fine. This is all fine. This is fine. But you guys get the idea. That's the important part, is that you guys get the idea. And that you can see what's going on. Lord have mercy. We've been at this for 45 minutes. Oh, I didn't chain. Come on, Steph. Let's get at this. The good thing is most people, unless it's drastic, like that hole right there, it's a big old hole right there. Unless it's drastic like that, most people are not going to see the mistakes that are made, which is a good thing. Come on, there you go. And I'm zooming through this, but you guys are probably going to get to the first time you do it, it's kind of hard to see where the holes are. And eventually, as you go through and you do more of these, in your brain, you know how far they are apart. So you'll end up just sliding your crochet hook across the fabric and it'll just zip right into those holes. So here we are at our last corner. So I'm going to chain two and I am going to slip stitch over here to this first single crochet. And in theory, that's how you prep the blanket. Now, as I said, that even when I feel like I have gotten everything perfectly square, I always end up with at least one side that has either one too many stitches or one less than everything else. Sometimes I end up with two sides that are off. So this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have one extra. So this is the part where you get to correct it. And again, most people, they're not going to see this. So what I would do going through here is I would start either a row of single crochet or half crochet. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has 10, and we want to bring all of these other 3 sides up to 10 as well. Technically, this side has 20 because we have the chain spaces in between. So what I would do is over here at the end, on the end of each one, I would put an extra stitch in. Just one tiny little extra stitch, and it will even everything out for our next round. So this is technically the foundation of the crochet portion of the blanket, but I do a second foundation row just to make sure that I get everything up even. Nobody's going to see it. Believe me, I am OCD, and things like that make me super, super crazy, but nobody is ever going to see it. Nobody's ever going to go all the way back and count to make sure. They're just not going to do that. One side has 2 stitches. No, it does not. Let's see. Yes. Yes, this is where the big holes are, because I went back over it because everything was moving here and I couldn't get the pressure that I needed on here. So this is a massive hole right here, and this is a super, super big hole right here. So that's why that is like that, Ida, because this corner is completely chooched up. So as I said, in theory, that's how I do it. I did not apply that theory very well today, but that is what I do and how I prep for blankets. Does the slip stitch when you attach the yarn count as 1 stitch? No, I don't ever count that. I just use that to get my yarn onto the fabric, and then I do a single crochet right in that same stitch. I stitch over it. That's why this kind of looks like that right there, because that's where we started. It's just how I always do it. It's not always pretty. Again, that's another reason why I try to use a very, very, very similar color, or the exact same color of the fleece that I'm using whenever I am doing this round, because it makes the mistakes. There's so much room for error here, guys. It really does help cover up the mistakes. If this was white, you probably wouldn't even see this. You would have to get super close in to, well, this right here, you would definitely be able to see that, because that's a big error. But most of the time, you wouldn't even notice this. Wouldn't even notice it. I cannot tell that the table is moving. It's not moving right now because I'm not cutting, but it was moving. It was moving. And I was trying really hard not to shake the cameras and push down and apply pressure, but whenever I do this, I'm out in my kitchen, and I have a big island in my kitchen where this lays down perfectly, and I can press down and I can run that rotary right over it, and I never have an issue. With this skip blade, whenever you can properly apply the pressure and roll it across, and you don't have everything moving as you're going, it cuts through 4 pieces, no issue at all. If your fleece seems to be bunching, then you may need more chains between your stitches. Yes, that is why it's important, if you can, to do a swatch up. Do a small square like this with the yarn that you're using, because all yarn is not created equally. You know, Paint Box DK and Stylecraft Special DK, they're both DK weight, but there's a spectrum that goes with the sizes. And Paint Box is on the thinner side than Stylecraft. They're on the lower spectrum. You know, it may take 10 wraps per inch for Stylecraft Special DK, but to get that same inch with Paint Box, it may take 13 wraps to get there. So Every time you go do this, you really should think about doing a swatch to see how your yarn, the hook that you've chosen, and the fleece that you've chosen, how it's all going to react before you go to cutting your main piece of fleece, because you can still use everything that's on the inside, but remember, we use the skip blade an inch in, so we can fold over. So you would have to cut off that inch and then go another inch in. So that instantly makes your blanket smaller every time you make a mistake and you have to recut it. So think about that. A suggestion: when you have cut your square of fleece, stick a border of masking tape along the edges before you fold it into quarters. The tape should help stop the fleece from stretching and keep straight. That is a good suggestion. Yes, it is. Yeah, you can say that again. Sometimes even two skeins of the same brand can be different. That's very, very true. You could also mark the tape where your first skip blade cut will go on each side. You can try. Not even gonna lie to you. You can try, but I have always found that no matter how many times I use these suckers, it never works out how I plan. Yes, Ida has another point. Fleece is their different thickness, so that also makes a difference. Swatching is super important, but I'm telling you, best laid plans, okay? My Aunt Jean Ann laughs at me all the time because I always have these moments where I had a plan. I had a plan, people, and I knew exactly every step, what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, the reaction that was going to happen, and everything. And then God looks at me and goes, no, it's just like that. I always have a plan, and I always know exactly how it's going to go, and I always do the exact same thing, and I'm so careful to make sure that everything is lined up with the little lines perfectly. And then God laughs at me and says, ha, adapt. Analyze the situation, adapt, and overcome. Hoorah! How many blankets can you cut with one blade? I don't know, to be honest. I always lose my rotary cutter, so I always end up having to buy new ones. I cannot keep track of a rotary cutter. I probably had a good 20 in my lifetime. Cannot keep track of a rotary cutter. I don't know what it is with me. I've never kept one long enough for my blade to dull that much that I need to replace it. So I can't answer that question. Let me see. I may try that, but my hubby does leather crafting and he has one of those things for poking holes. I might use that. You can try it. Absolutely. Try it, try it, try it. Want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans. Exactly. It's one of those situations. I've never had one turn out exactly how I had planned. And I've made a bunch of them. I have never, ever, ever had one plan out. I have always had to improvise and find a way to make it work. Dee, I've done about 10 blankets and they are still okay. Like our hooks, they need GPS finders, right? People will see the love that went into it, not the wobbly lines or the irregular number of stitches. Exactly, Russell. That's what I was doing. Whenever you get, this is going to happen to you. You are going to end up with sides that have more stitches or less stitches than others. It's going to happen. So it really is nothing to use these corners or somewhere in the middle. Just throw an extra stitch in there to make sure that all of your sides are even before you start doing your border design. I use a hole punch for my fleeces. I measure an inch on my hole punch and mark a line on it so I know how far to go. Ooh, hole punches are rather large holes though. I mean, if it works for you. Well, I mean, I guess if you're using Aran weight yarn or something, that's a big hole. Borrowers, they steal your rotary cutters. Nobody's borrowing mine. I just lose them. 5-minute warning. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dee. You didn't find anything during your move? No, no, they just disappear. If someone is looking that hard for mistakes, they need a new hobby. That's true. Hey, Wanda. We'll watch again later. Everyone have a great day and stay safe. You can watch again the chaos that happened. How not to do it. That's what you can watch later. I like seeing so-called imperfections because then you know it isn't machine made. That's true. Fleece dulls the blade faster than cotton fabric, so if using it a lot, I would say about 20 blankets. Yeah, I've never gotten 20 blankets. Like I'll be lucky if I come back from work tonight and my rotary cutter is still sitting here. That's how they just poof into thin air. I never. I don't know. 5-minute warning. It sounds like last call. It kind of is. I have to go to work. I have to go to the post office. I have to stop by a store that's close to the post office and see if maybe they have toilet paper or milk. And then call my Aunt Jean Ann and carry my butt to work. It's a 1/16 inch hole punch. Oh, okay. When I think hole punch, I think like, like standard size hole punch. So while it was kind of like a disaster, I suppose it was also great to show you guys how to fix things and to give you little tips on the way, because if everything would have gone perfect, I wouldn't have thought of telling you guys all of the different ways that I fixed the mistakes, because they happen. Every single blanket, they happen. Of the day. Yeah. I've actually given my older pet monster the fleece to cut for me. She's pretty good at straight lines, a heck of a lot better than I am. That's good to hear. A bidet, another idea, use a sewing machine without thread to make those holes along the edges. Yeah, you could, but you'd have to test it out. You'd have to see. I actually think that those holes might be a little bit too small. Might be a little bit too small to get your crochet hooks into. Bless your heart. I hope you have luck finding those things. Well, I'm not out of them now, but I will be soon. I will be soon. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But we'll see. We're all doing what we can. Oh, goodbye, Beverly. Let's see. What else can we, we're not going to do this again on this table, you guys. I'm going to have to take everything out and go out into the kitchen and try to actually find time in all of this craziness to film a proper tutorial for doing this, because this was horrible. I apologize, but I hope you guys got the basic gist of it. Oh, the sewing machine is a great idea. I definitely have to let the pet monster do that. She yells at me when I go near her sewing machine. I don't think that it would make holes big enough for you to get your crochet hooks through. Thank you, Dee. Want to continue on with the shenanigans? We join the It's Crochet O'Clock Facebook group. We chat there all day, all week long. You can partake in it. My friend didn't know about this blade. She did a manual hole all through her twin-size blanket, swearing the whole time. I'll bet she did. I'll bet she did. Because I can't imagine that. I don't even like it when I get to points like, where did I have that point where it was somewhere, no, right here. There should have been another one right there in the middle of that one. Normally I just fold and make the two holes that are there. If I missed one and it's not a hole, I fold it until two holes line up, and then I just do a tiny little snip with my scissors. Just a tiny little snip is all that you need. Back to work. Oh, you did fine. It was helpful. I'm glad that it was helpful for you guys. So it is time for me to go. I will see you guys tomorrow, unless you are part of the It's Crochet O'Clock Facebook group, and then I will see you in there chit-chatting and laughing at me because today was not all that great. It's okay. You guys can laugh at me. I will take that hit for the enjoyment and the amusement. If nothing else, we got that today. Don't forget to be kind to others, because everybody is dealing with something that you don't know about, and there's a whole lot of people that are super stressed out and super scared because we are in uncertain times. So remember to be kind to folks online and offline. I will see you guys tomorrow.